go. C-H-I-C-H-E-O. Close up, there, down, red zone, let's go. C-H-I-C-H-E-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone, let's go. C-H-I-C-H-E-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone, let's go. C-H-I-C-H-E-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone, let's go. C-H-I-C-H-E-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone, let's go. C-H-I-C-H-E-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone, let's go. C-H-I-C-H-E-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone, let's go.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back, Bear Down. Da Bears. Talking to Bears today. Haven't been live for a while, so I thought I would just go live when you talk about these crazy trade rumors you hear all about. People are bored. It's the bye week. It's the bye week, so people are bored. We're going to make some changes soon. You see this? Wow. Seriously, right, Scott? What the F? Seriously. That's amateur hour at its best. I was sitting there adjusting the screen and I pulled the power out of the back of the computer. So, guys, I'm sorry. We did lose Adam for a minute. Adam's back. I'm very sorry. That was amateur hour at its finest. Hopefully you guys can hear me. We got sound, we got everything. We got everything back to normal. That was amateur hour. Good thing we're live, and that only took a couple minutes out of it. But my heck, let's go back to amateur hour for just a minute. Bear down, everyone. Bear down. We're back. So there are going to be some changes soon. You see how it's a Wrigley Field behind me, and you see how there's a Cubs up there, some Bears over here. I'm going to make some changes to the little studio here. I'm going to make an official studio. It's going to be Bears only studio. That's what we're going to do here real soon. So expect that change. Little things. The channel's coming up on its first year anniversary in December 4th, I think. So no, not YouTube's fault, Scott. Not anybody's fault but my own. I'm sitting here adjusting the computer and I pulled the power right out of the back of it. So I had to frantically shove that thing back in and put it back together, and away we go. And now I'm out of sorts. So this is the problem with me going live sometimes. So headline of the video is we're going to talk about trade rumors. We're going to talk about bye week drama. But the nice thing is this year, guys, we're 4-2. In the bye week, we're actually up. We're winning. There's so much to be positive about. Caleb is clicking. He's improving every week. It looks good. The drama is minimal. And now we just have all these funky trade rumors and excitement that people have over fake trades that are never going to happen. I'm going to spoil it right now. I'll go here and go right here to Twitter, and we'll look at this for just a second, but I'm not going to spend all day on this because here's, just type in there Chicago Bears trade. What do we got? We got Max Crosby. People were saying Max Crosby. This is another fake. I guarantee that's not real. I guarantee Max Crosby's not coming here. Trading away Khalil Herbert. Sorry, I blew this up big so it would be easier for you guys to see on the screen. The news that the Bears were approached by the Vikings about Khalil Herbert before the season, before they went after Cam Akers. There's going to be stuff about Nate Davis being traded. There's going to be stuff about Myles Garrett being traded. Going to be stuff about Hassan Reddick being traded. I mean, you're going to hear all sorts of stuff about fake. I mean, then you got other content creators talking about potential trades. I'm not in on this, guys. I'm going to tell you why. We'll get into it, all the whole reason why here on this one. This is old stuff now. All right, let's get out of that stuff. Let's get some of the chat. Stop sharing that stuff. FGB, that's right. In the chat, give me some FGB. Give me some cheese emoji and puke emoji. I haven't been doing those lately. We got to get the trend going again. We got to get the trend rolling again on the puke and the cheese. In fact, let me get some of them out there for you guys to see. Puke and the cheese. We're delaying it here just a minute. Sorry, this is a little slower because we're getting everyone involved. We're getting the puke and the cheese going. There we go. Dave S. Scott Ellsworth. I love it. I'm going to get my puke and cheese going. Signature. Boom. Puke and cheese, puke and cheese, puke and cheese. Blah, blah. If you guys haven't caught, I'm starting to do the updated for the season, where we stand right now within the division. I've done the quarterback one. I'm releasing the wide receiver one right after Thursday Night Football. As I said, we're coming up on a year on the channel, and right now, as it stands, we're at 7,990 subscribers. That's kind of crazy to me. That kind of happened overnight, and then slowly, I thought it would slow down after Justin Fields trade, but we're still growing for some reason. Some people like to hear stuff about the Bears and analytical, nerdy takes. Analytical, nerdy stuff. That's what I do. That's what you're getting right now from me in the next couple of days. I'm pumping these out hard right now. I'm working on them nonstop, getting the information and the stuff together. So I'm getting all the stuff together for the quarterback, wide receiver, now defensive end, defensive tackle. And then we're going into the cornerbacks, the safeties, linebackers, tight ends, running backs, getting all the positions done. I'm going to do that before the next games are played so the information is accurate. And then we move into the bye week. Huge week for the Bears coming up, playing the Commanders. A lot of people think the Commanders are going to blow out the Panthers. The Commanders' defense isn't the best, and the Panthers' offense is good. So I see that being a little bit of a shootout game. I don't see that being a crazy blowout game by the Commanders. I think the Bears are going to blow out the Commanders. I really do. People get worried because they hear the stuff about Jaden Daniels. I think the offense of the Commanders will be stymied by the Bears' defense. I think the Bears will have their streak of 20 points or less broken. I think the Commanders will break 20 points, but the Bears' offense is clicking. I think we'll outscore them, and our defense will do enough, holding them somewhere between 20 and 25, and the offense will score over 28 against the Commanders' defense, and I think we're going to handle them fine. I'll do more on that next week, so that'll be fine. But the biggest reason I don't think we're going for a trade, and so let's hear on the side here. Do you guys think we're gonna go for a trade? I can't pull up on StreamYard. I can't do a poll. Maybe I can. I don't know how to do a poll on StreamYard. I can only do that on YouTube Live. Which why we should be using YouTube Live. Uh-oh, I missed the breaking news, Creighton. Let's go find it. This is one of my favorite things. Sorry, when the computer got pulled out, I was in panic mode trying to fix it. All right, there we go. Breaking news. Per reports, the state police have called in the Army to the National Guard to deal with Gervon Dexter rumor has been seen crushing airplanes, yell bye week, but Big Dex needs to eat. I like Creighton's Big Dex updates. Big Dex. What's the over-under there? 10 sacks for the year? 11 sacks for the year? What do you guys think? All right. Do you guys think we're making a trade? Do you guys think we're making a trade? Are we going to make a trade? The trade deadline is November 5th. We know Poles is always active. We know before the season started, he wanted to get Matthew Judon. The big reason I don't think he's going to make a trade is because they've made so many comments about the depth of this offensive line. And then they went and got the pieces they wanted right before the season. They already made those moves. They went and got Darrell Taylor, and they went and got Chris Williams. Those are the moves they made. They are good. And here's the other big reason that they're not going to make any more moves. These are all the Bears on the roster now that we have drafted. There's other second rounders, first rounders. For example, Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat was I'm talking day one and early day two, round one and round two players, how valuable they are. So a lot of people are saying, and I agree, I thought we might go after Trey Hendrickson. I thought we might go after, let me hide this for a minute. We'll come back to that. I thought we might go after Micah Parsons. Thought we might go after Myles Garrett. I thought Max Crosby, even that's crazy. That's out there, but it would be fun. We could do those things, but then we went and got Darrell Taylor. And the thing is, let me find the right place here. We'll just pull up. We'll pull up PFF. You guys know I like PFF. And again, I'm going to preface it. PFF is not the end-all, be-all. It doesn't mean everything. It's not the whole everything. But let's go to by position. Let's go pass rush. And let's just limit it down to our edges and our interior because that's what we're talking about when we're talking pass rush. Let's not just do 4 teams. Let's do all teams. Here's all 32 teams. There's your pass rush grades. This is what I look at, your win rate and your pressure generated. Those are the things that I focus on. Can you guys see that? Is that big enough? So we zoom in here a little bit. Let's zoom in on a little bit. Come over here. Here's our pressure generated. That's a lot bigger. That helps. So I agree. When you can have it fall into your lap, you absolutely go after it. Look at how valuable Aiden Hutchinson was. 45 freaking total pressures. When you look down this, he was having a historic year. 8 sacks, 45 pressures. I mean, 38.3% win rate. It's freaking nuts. Yes, I see Yannick Ngakoue there. I'm not even going to talk about Yannick Ngakoue. It's very limited. Look at 18 pass rush opportunities. So it's not what it looks like. In fact, let's go up here. Let's do this. Let's do this. That'll narrow it down there. That's more appropriate. That's more appropriate. Let's look at actual in size, in context, something that actually means something. So there's Aiden Hutchinson. Let's look at our Bears. There's Myles Garrett. Oops, I didn't mean to click on him. So I'm going to go to that screen now. Don't take me away from the screen. So this is what I look at. Your pressures generated. And like I tell you guys, this kind of shows you anything over 10 is elite. So your top guys in the league here, you've only got 10 of them above 10. And for my win rate, I say I want guys around 15 and above. That's your elite guys. You got 33-ish guys, 34 guys above 15 on your pass rush win rate. So those are kind of your elite crop of the crop guys. Let's look at the Bears players. Let's just narrow this down to Bears players. And you've got several guys within there. You got DeMarcus Walker having one hell of a year. I mean, he really is. And he's been playing that way since last year when Montez Sweat came over. Montez Sweat creating win rates as well. Andrew Billings with win rates. Even Chris Williams filling in as well. He's stepped it up lately. And Gervon Dexter. You're getting total pressures. 5 of these guys have over 10 pressures so far. 5 sacks, 3 sacks, 2 sacks. And these are PFF. So remember, sacks are relative with PFF because sometimes they give full credit for a half sack. But we're not dying on the defensive line here. If you can have one fall in your lap, Myles Garrett, if you have a situation where the Browns just want to unload him for a third, absolutely, in a heartbeat. But what I'm talking about, the reason why I don't think they will, look at what we've got out of our first and second rounders. These are just the first and second rounders in the last 5 years alone. Here's 2020. Cole Kmet, top 10 tight end. Absolutely. The league doesn't give him credit for that, but he is. Look at what he did in that one play alone. It's momentum building. He's a team player. Jalen Johnson, the best cornerback in the league right now, if not one of the best. I understand there's different metrics you might want to look at when you're considering the best cornerback in the league. He shuts people down, though. Absolutely. Let's move to 2021. All right, we got Justin Fields. He's off the team. He's the only one that's going to be off the team off of all of these. And in my opinion, he's a developmental quarterback. He was improving every year. I can understand why you move on from the quarterback contract situation, though. The most expensive contract in the league. I would rather have us go with Caleb Williams when you have the 1-1 pick. If we didn't have the 1-1 pick, this would be a different discussion. Then sign a Jordan Love type of contract. If we signed Justin Fields to a 4-year, $160 million contract, I would have actually been mad about that. I said that all along. I wanted them to sign him to like a 3-year, $25 million a year type of deal and build through the draft, blah, blah, blah. But then you've got Tevin Jenkins. When he's healthy, absolutely one of the best guards in the league. I think right now he's in the top 10. We'll go look at that in just a minute. We got time on the live feed here. Let's move to 2022. I'm going to look at the chat in just a minute, guys. Sorry. I'm going to look at the chat in just a minute. Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker, staples at nickel and at safety. I mean, they're two staples. They're built around this new team. They are cornerstones for this team, absolutely key to the defense. And we got those both in the second round. 2023, Darnell Wright. I'm going to be one of the few that say it, but I'm not sold on Darnell Wright yet. He doesn't have quite enough Gervon Dexter mean in him. He's solid. He's not a cornerstone tackle yet. I give him the rookie contract. I don't think we switch out that right tackle for 2 more years. But right now, I'm not loving the pressure that he's allowing. And I saw more last year that I liked than this year. And he's okay. He's average, but he's not cream of the crop. He's not top 10 pick right now. But we got him in the first round. Gervon Dexter absolutely is still at 253 overall. Tyreek Stevenson absolutely is still at 256. And then 2024, Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. So that's what we're talking in draft picks that we're giving up here, guys. If you're trading for one of these superstars, or I mean, if you're trading for Max Crosby, you're giving up multiple first rounders. This is what you're giving up. You're giving up a Rome Odunze. You're giving up a Gervon Dexter. You're giving up a Tyreek Stevenson. This is why I think the Bears are not going to be trading for one of these players, because as it stands right now, we're actually okay in our pass rush. When you go to the Bears, our pass rush is okay. In fact, if you go to team defense, I got to switch screens for this. This is going to be harder to see. I apologize. You guys are going to see the nerdy stuff that I look at and go through, though. But let me show here. If we go to defenses, now this is Pro Football Reference. It's just one of the different places I use. This is an easy one to show you guys instead of having to sort and sift. It's got everything in one spot. But if we look at team defense here, and we're going to go down to pressure generated, to me is more important than anything. Look where the Bears stand right now. We're getting pressure on 20. I'll make it bigger for you. We're getting pressure on 25.6% of plays. And that's good enough for first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth in the league. So it's not like we have to go out and obtain a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett or a Hassan Reddick. I don't want Hassan Reddick, because if he's holding out in New York, what do you think is he not going to hold out here? I want someone who's going to come in and be part of the culture, part of the locker room, and cohese with this team. All right, so that's my biggest reason right there. But if we're already 9th in pressure right now, and sacks overall, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. We're 7th in sacks, 9th in pressure. There's not a dire need to give up these future Kyler Gordons, future Tyreek Stevensons, future Gervon Dexters, or Rome Odunzes to go obtain one of them, unless you're positive that we're Super Bowl or bust this year. But that's not what we're building. We're not building Super Bowl or bust. We're building longevity. We're building continual contenders year in and year out, over and over and over again. Sorry, I know that's kind of little on the screen. Sorry about that, guys. All right, I'm going to check out the chat here on the side, and then we'll get back into more of what I wanted to show you guys. I don't agree with that either, Creighton. I'm not trying to oppose you or point you out or anything, but I don't agree, and I'll go show the O-line in a minute. But they've talked specifically about the O-line depth. And a lot of people are bringing up the whole Nate Davis thing. We'll trade away Nate Davis. That's the most asinine thing we would do. I'm going to put my stamp on it. Come back to this and tell me I'm wrong again. I'm not wrong. I'm just early on stuff. Justin Fields, I wasn't wrong. I'm just early. I was wrong that we would keep him. That's more of a decision. I get it because we're going with a rookie quarterback. And now Caleb, man, I'm glad we went that direction. Obviously, all of us are. But with Nate Davis, you don't trade him away because the biggest thing you don't find in trades midseason are offensive linemen, quality offensive linemen, top tier offensive linemen. Now, I get the Wyatt Teller rumor is out there. And if we can get Wyatt Teller for a third rounder, I'm all in. Go for it. Third rounders are hit or miss. That's your Velus Joneses. That's your Tyler Scott's a fourth rounder. But that's the verge spot. I mean, your second rounder, your first and second rounder should be day one starters who are guaranteed hits. We got this. We got our starter. We're good. Third round, you start getting into the area of, okay, these guys could be, and quality organizations do find some of those guys. And then positional spots, linebackers, running backs, you can find those fourth, fifth round and find starters out of them. But Wyatt Teller is one of the guys I was talking to you guys about earlier before the year started. And I said I was going to bring up two Cleveland. I don't know, those diehards who watch the channel consistently would know what I'm talking about. I said there were two Browns players that I'm going to do trade hypotheticals, but I don't like to get in the hypotheticals too much, but he's one of them. They're in salary cap problem. They're tanking, going downhill. That's why they traded Amari Cooper, and now they can unload some other players. Wyatt Teller has been injured. He's coming back from injury. He would be an absolute steal if we could get him for a third or fourth rounder. If he costs a second rounder, I don't want to do it. You've seen that Bill Murray can fill in and do a fine job. You've seen that Matt Pryor can fill in and do an average job. And sometimes all you need is average. So I'm not completely sold on that. Let me go to the offensive line here. Man, I say I'm going to look at the chat. Okay, let me look at the chat. Trade Davis, Velus, and Dom Rob. Okay, I'm not opposed to Dom Rob and Velus. The problem is, and a lot of people are saying along with this, to trade Khalil Herbert. And I'm okay with that if you can get enough valuable right there. Herbert possibly traded. I'm okay with that if you can get enough value. The problem is if you have Roschon Johnson go down, who's filling in? Who's filling in for Roschon Johnson? It's not Velus Jones. It's not DeAndre Swift. And Khalil Herbert's the only other one that can be a power third down back. So we don't have the depth at a third down back, a goal line back right now. DeAndre Swift is fine at that. He can make it work because he's a very versatile back. But I don't love trading away the depth. I don't love trading with it unless you can get enough value out of Khalil Herbert. Enough value for that, I would say, is probably a fifth rounder, sixth rounder. I think they would trade him for a sixth rounder. But a fifth rounder would get it done for me at the running back position. I'm good with that. And these, I don't necessarily always think of someone we can trade with the fifth, sixth, or seventh round. Fifth, sixth, and seventh rounders are sweeteners to me because say Ian Cunningham becomes a GM next year and we get the Rooney rule, which is the diversity rule, because he is a minority. If he gets hired by somebody else, the Bears get compensation for it for 2 years, third round pick. So somewhere in the 95 to 102-ish range of a draft pick after the third round is over. You could take that pick and you can buddy it up to a fifth or a sixth rounder and you can move up into the 70s, 60s, 50s, where you're getting closer to where I said are the guaranteed starters. Your first and second rounders are your guaranteed starters. So if you take your compensation pick in the third round and buddy it up with a fourth rounder, a fifth rounder, a sixth rounder, and you want to move up for someone you really like and they haven't gotten drafted yet and they've fallen down the board a little bit, that's why I love analyzing the draft. That's why I love following the draft and seeing those things. That's why when we traded back in for Austin Booker, I freaking lost it and I was going ballistic. I was freaking excited because Austin Booker is developmental, but to me, a third round type of pick. That's verge guy. He's probably not going to be a huge impact this year, but he's going to be a dominant force in the league once he puts on 15 more pounds and gets some experience and gets some reps. So back to this. I don't see us trading Nate Davis, in my opinion. This is going to be a my opinion video. I get that. This is going to be in my opinion. The depth of the offensive line is the thing. So let me go here and let's show. Let's go. Let's see. Man, this is what I'll show you guys what I was looking at right before this. Oh, man. I'm dying over this. Why, Ryan Poles? Why? Why didn't you give me what I wanted all along? We could have had Connor freaking Williams. And look at how he's doing. Yeah, he had a couple rough games there in the middle. Let's take this out of pass blocking. Let's just do it to overall blocking. Couple rough games here in the middle. But overall, played really well so far. Hardly any pressure given up. And he looks really good and consistently over time. I freaking want him back. All right, let's go to PFF. Let's just go to the main screen, not premium stats. And let me go show here. Let's go to the Bears. The Bears. Let's go to our roster. Let's just show the grades of where things are right now. So our top grades, look at where we are with depth. Ooh, what's going on with the screen? Chill out, screen. Let's zoom this in. Let's make this much bigger. Much bigger. Bill Murray probably needs a few more reps. Only got 40 snaps. My goodness. Come on, screen. Only got 40 snaps, but he's our best graded out run blocker and pass blocker. And I get it. It was in the end of the game, and it's not their most elite competition that he's having to block. So I get that. Cole Kmet's absolutely come along, looking really good. Velus Jones might need a few more reps. He's only had 4. That's based off 4. It means nothing, guys. But look right here. You got Tevin Jenkins, Braxton Jones, Darnell Wright, Coleman Shelton, Matt Pryor. All of our starters was 63 and above. Okay. You don't trade away good offensive linemen midseason. And yes, Nate Davis is good offensive lineman. I realize he's at a 53 right now, but he is a quality backup who's had years of good experience under his belt. If one of these guys go down, you got Bill Murray, and that's great. You've got Kieran Amagaji, who should start getting more reps for tackle. We need to see it because there does need to be some testing out of his abilities. You don't replace Braxton Jones this year. Solid on pass block and run block, and that's very valuable. I get that he gets bull rushed a little bit, guys. I do. But even when he gets bull rushed, he doesn't allow the sacks very often. We can go to that screen and show that it does create some pressure, but with a smart quarterback like Caleb, he can get his way out of it. But what I don't want to see is us trade away Nate Davis and then have to rely on Ryan Bates, who has very little experience in the league. And everyone's kind of hyped him up to be the end-all, be-all, but he's not a savior. Nate Davis is a quality depth piece who we have to pay anyways. And if we trade, we're going to eat a lot of that contract. I just don't see us doing that. I don't see us trading him away. The other one people talk about is Coleman Shelton, trading him away. He's 18th, but he's really 17th because there's 2 centers on the same team because one got injured. So he's 17th, which is right where he was last year. Average center in the league, but you don't want to switch out a center mid-season of your rookie and screw that whole situation up. You've got a rookie quarterback. You don't want to throw a new center in with him and make him adjust to a new center like mid-season. That's like the worst idea ever. And no one's going to trade a top-tier center. No one's going to do that. If anything, I'm okay with us going after a Coleman Shelton, or I'm sorry, a Connor Williams from Seattle. I don't think Connor Williams is going to want to switch teams again. But if he did, and we want to go after Connor Williams, go after him. But I'd rather have us re-sign Coleman Shelton after the year's over. It's not someone you re-extend right now, but extend him so we have consistency and then draft a high center, like second round, where the top centers, where Zach Frazier was drafted this year. Draft a high center, let them compete in camp. And if the rookie beats him out, awesome, spectacular. You've got a rookie stud starting day one. If not, you've got Coleman Shelton that can let him have a little bit more time to adjust, the rookie, whoever it is, to adjust to the league. And you've got depth either way. You've got a starting caliber center who's been in the league for years and years and years, or you've got a rookie who has a mentor there with him too. So I'd love to see us extend Coleman Shelton. I absolutely would. All right. And that's kind of the mentality right there, Dennis Moody. If you're gonna do this, you're going all in for the Super Bowl this year. And I can see it both ways. I can see that 100% both ways. Because with how well Caleb's playing, if this team clicks, just think about that. If this team clicks and we beat Washington, like I'm saying, and then we beat Arizona and we beat New England, and then we get into the divisional games and we beat the Packers, which I think we will. And then we're splitting with the Lions and the Vikings, and we end the year at 12, 13 wins. This is a team that if it gets clicking and we add that one more piece, maybe it's worth sacrificing a Tyreek Stevenson. And by that I mean a second-round pick next year. I don't mean actual Tyreek Stevenson. I mean a second-round pick next year. Maybe it's worth sacrificing a Tyreek Stevenson and a Tyler Scott, a second and a fourth. But when you're getting into Max Crosby type of people, you're talking multiple firsts. When you're getting into Trey Hendrickson, you're talking a second and probably another second. When you're getting into Myles Garrett, he's disgruntled, and the Browns are kind of selling off. Maybe you're getting away with a second and maybe a late round, a fifth or a sixth. I can see it. I can see the opportunity there. So I get why some fans want it. I just don't think we're going that avenue. I think they're very happy because of what I showed you guys here with this. With this, takes me a minute to get these things loaded back up. Because of this, I don't see us doing it. We've got Gervon Dexter, Montez Sweat, DeMarcus Walker, Darrell Taylor, that was the big addition right before the year, who's playing super well. Look at his pass rush grade, 67.8. He's got 12 pressures playing. Let's go back here and look. 115 pass rush snaps as opposed to 118, 182, 153, 158. He's got quality pass rush opportunities, and he's getting pressure still. Andrew Billing, who's also rotating in about the same amount, 11 pressures. We've got 5 guys there on the front of the line who are generating pressure and hitting these high numbers like I like to talk about. Win rate, 10, 14, 16, 13, 11, 8. DeMarcus Walker is among the best in the league right now. So do we really need to go after that? No, but if you're wanting to go for a deep playoff run, I can see that they would do that. Wyatt Teller is who I was talking about before. And I can see us doing that for like a third rounder. I'm not expecting anything. That's going to be the whole point of this video, guys. I don't expect a trade to happen. I really don't. The offensive line, just like I just showed you guys a minute ago. Let's stop that screen again. Let's go back to this. The Bears. So the offensive line, I wish you could narrow this down. Filters, here we go. Position. Let's do this. Centers, 63 there. Can't do multiple positions here. Let's see. Centers, guard, tackle. There we go. There's our offensive line. Offensive line isn't looking bad. I mean, it's not. You look at that. The starters right here, if they have a grade, it means they've played enough quality snaps. You see how many snaps they have over here, offensive snaps. Oh, I've got it little. Boom. Sorry, guys. This is the disadvantage of not having a producer. Sorry about that. So you look at the offensive line, these guys are all the starters, and they're 63, 63, 70, 71, 71. And I tell you guys, 65 is starter quality. Yeah, it'd be nice to have higher than 46 out of 75 as one of our guards, and the other guard 18th out of 75. But it's not like that's bad. Years past, maybe I'm just too complacent with how poor it's been in the past and how far we've come. Maybe that's my problem. But Darnell Wright 18 or 28th out of 76, and Braxton Jones 24. So we've got two. I mean, you're thinking there's 64 starting tackles, and we've got 24 and 28. Yeah, you want to see that a little bit higher, but it's not like we're in rough position right now. All right, let me get back to this. Let's see this. Derek Guy. What's up, Adam? I want Poles to trade for a Garrett or a Crosby. Only that will turn a top 5 defense into a number 1 defense. The NFC is wide open. There are no dominant teams or quarterback ones in the NFC. And I can see that, especially now that Aiden Hutchinson is gone, which sucks for them. I was showing you guys that a second ago. Let me show here. When you go back to the pass rush grades, let's go to everyone, not just the Bears. In fact, let's just go to everyone. Aiden Hutchinson, the pressures let's go to the Lions, actually. Let's do that. It'll show it better. The Lions, look at the pressure they have. They've got him. They've got Levi Onwuzurike, who I said I kind of wanted us to target in the offseason, and Aleem McNeil. They're 2 defensive tackles. After that, Marcus Davenport isn't pulling his weight. He's only got 7 pressures. Josh Pascal, they aren't generating the pressure that we're pressure. So with that gone, I mean, imagine that gone. This is what they have outside of that. They are definitely going to be shopping for someone because they're going to struggle without Aiden Hutchinson. He was their entire defensive line. He was the struggle, or he was the pressure that they were generating. So it's going to be rough for them. But if we're in that type of position where we're wanting to compete with the Lions and the Vikings and the Packers and set ourselves apart by trying to sweep the division, I can see us doing it. I say let's go for it. Boom. Yeah, so the Fields news, I'll get into that for half a second. In fact, we can pull up. Let's pull up here. We'll just have this kind of be free-flowing here. I think that might have been some right there. Nope, that wasn't it. Let's just go here. Justin Fields. Justin Fields handled it very maturely, and he's right. If you look into his advanced metrics, he didn't do anything extra. How does that have anything to do with? Here's Justin Fields talking about it. In fact, we'll try to.
I don't think I played, good enough. If I'm being real with you. If I'm being real with myself, I think if I did play well enough, I don't think there would be any sort of playing Houston Don. So at the end of the day, we got a few wins. Of course, I'm glad about that, but there's areas that I could be better at, and I'm just gonna continue to work on those and continue to get better.
So, little news there. He's benched for Russell Wilson, but it's not. I don't know if you can call it a benching. It's more of they promised Russell Wilson he earned the job before he got hurt, just like any other player that gets injured. And then you're giving him the opportunity to come back. Justin Fields said it himself. I don't think I played well. If Justin Fields was completely dominant with his arm, now he was basically their offense with his legs. I have nothing negative to say about Justin Fields. Every metric of his was better. His adjusted completion percentage, his completion percentage, his on target, his accuracy, everything looked really good for him. It just wasn't completely coming to the offense wasn't scoring on every drive. They were hit or miss. And then it's kind of the same story here. We'd be punting in situations where he felt like we should have been driving that one down. We should have been getting down. It should have been a touchdown or a field goal. What was the problem here? Why are we doing this? And then we frustrate and we struggle. So they're going to give Russell Wilson a shot. I think all of us are pulling for Justin Fields to get another shot, though. We did get Sweat for a second. We had to give up a second for it. And that was a center. I mean, that was Zach Frazier. Think about that. We picked up Sweat, but we gave up a Zach Frazier to do that. That's what we did. So, it's pick your poison. Which one do you want? We could have really used Zach Frazier. That would have been a whole. This offensive line would probably be, instead of 18th right now in pass block efficiency, it probably would be around 13th or 12th pass blocking efficiency. It would be a whole different looking line if we got Zach Frazier instead of Montez Sweat. Now, I love Montez Sweat. I have no problem with it. Our defense would be struggling without Montez Sweat. We would have had to have definitely gone after Matthew Judon a lot harder. We would have still gone after Darrell Taylor, and maybe we'd be all right. But that's the problem that these GMs are facing, the decisions they have to make. Fields is a stand-up guy, period. I agree with you, Jeff Potter. He's absolutely a stand-up guy, class act, character, good guy. So, yeah, so there you go. Damon Dice, Crosby said he's not for a rebuild. He's also come out and said now silver and black is all he wants to be. So is he playing the politically correct? Is he playing the politically correct game where he has to say the right things and he's really talking to them and saying, hey, look, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm open to be dealt. This helps you guys with the rebuild, because the Raiders are clearly headed for a rebuild. And if I knew Tom Brady was going to be here, I would have freaking tried to gone over there and record it. You see the video of him, like literally right out this window, and 500 yards is the Raiders practice facility. That's how close I am to it. And if I would have known he was going to be there, I would have gone over there and tried to get video and freaking recorded that, because you see the video of him showing up to the Raiders practice facility. He's now the minority owner. And they've got to be headed for rebuild mode. They have to be. I would assume you'd want Max Crosby to be a part of that. But if a team is willing to give up, you're talking Khalil Mack type of trade value. You're talking multiple first rounders to get Max Crosby. So if they can get that for him, I don't want the Bears to be paying that. We've done that before. Now the difference is that would have been brilliant if quarterback situation would have worked out for us. If we had Caleb Williams, it would have worked out and we could have that top one off defense in the league. So I don't know, guys. You're seeing the two different sides of that now. You're seeing there's two different sides to that. Are we going all in, sacrificing the future, saying this team right here, right now, with barely any contracts coming up? We have nothing. No contracts coming due. There's Tevin Jenkins, there's Coleman Shelton, there's Khalil Herbert, Jack Sanborn. And this is just off the top of my head. There's hardly any contracts coming due. So when you've got that and you've got guys locked in, Jalen Johnson, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen's another one that's coming due, Montez Sweat, when you got multiple guys on multiple year contracts, Caleb Williams, Romo Dunze on their rookie deals. You've still got Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson. You've got all these guys on rookie deals still. Now is the perfect time to push for the playoffs, push for a Super Bowl. But you can build something long lasting. You can draft, which we haven't been doing. You can draft a center next year. You can draft a guard. You can draft multiple. You can draft a defensive end, which we will need to do, a defensive tackle. You can draft a guard. You can draft a center. You can, and then the year after that, you can start drafting premium picks. You can start taking the Gentrys. I mean, he's not going to be in 2 years. He's this year. But you can draft the Gentrys in the late first round because you're making the playoffs and you're making a late push. You can draft a generational running back like a Jahmyr Gibbs, how he's panning out for the Lions. You can draft running back and wide receiver at those high premium positions because you're set with these young and locked in contracts on these other positions where you need to fill those trenches, because that's been the Bears' problem for years. On the trenches, we have not been competitive enough to be able to not spend the capital, and then we're trading draft capital away, trying to buy a championship now when we weren't ready for it. We thought we might have had it in Mitch Trubisky. We thought we might have had it in going out and purchasing Jay Cutler. And so then you can try to do those things. You can go get a Khalil Herbert, and you can have Roquan Smith on his giant contract, but then it didn't work out with the quarterback situation. The quarterback situation revolves all of this. It's what everything revolves around. And Caleb, it's been 6 weeks. So I doubt ownership is going to say we're going to go all in after 6 weeks, even though those 6 weeks have been a very special week 4, 5, 6. Weeks 1 and 2, got to get acclimated. This is a little bit, we're not on the same page. We're not on the same cue. You still look really good. Your arm looks really sharp. Why didn't you do this? Why did you misfire there? Why are you really, I mean, if you guys remember the week 1 and 2, he was inaccurate. Like, he wasn't hitting his targets. Now he looks like freaking Pat Mahomes. I'm better than Pat Mahomes this year. Pat Mahomes having a little bit of a down year. He looks like freaking John Elway. He looks like Aaron Rodgers in his prime. He looks like those accurate quarterbacks. So it makes you feel like, yeah, maybe he is him. But I don't think ownership, I don't think GM Ryan Poles is going to say, oh, it's done. He's proven he is the quarterback of the future. He is Pat Mahomes after 6 games. I mean, there could be something very special in store for us this year. We could be going into the NFC Championship game. We could be going to the Super Bowl, or we can struggle going down the stretch. I don't see that with what I've seen out of him, what I've seen out of this team. I don't see the struggle. I see us at least making the playoffs, but it's kind of that too early. All right, I'm going to get back to some of the chat. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I hate to see the injuries too, DVD. It's not totally certain. He's made it sound like he can come back, but he'll definitely be back next year. But he was having a nice year. All right. That's kind of a good point, JC1. Most important thing about getting Crosby would be getting to keep him out of the rest of the NFC North. He would be a wrecker. He's a different breed. Like, he's just an absolute beast. He thinks different. He's almost like, we talk about Gervon Dexter as the Hulk. We joke around with Creighton Wilfong making his Gervon Dexter comments about him. It's almost the same type of thing. Like, he's a beast mentality. There's a different mentality in guys like him. He's an absolute animal. You know, some of his past, some of his history coming back from drug rehab and all that stuff, maybe that built into him some resiliency and some fortuity and some strength, inner strength. I don't know. Long term, we are better to saving draft capital, loading up on next year, O-line next year. We got to pay Brisker and Gordon. You're right. So there's another good point. In the next couple of years, we are coming up on some contracts. Now, we're in really good salary cap space. In fact, we can pull that up. Let me do that so you guys can see that. Whenever I use that site, though, that uses more RAM for some reason, more memory, and so it makes my computer slow down. So let's hope that doesn't happen here. Let's go to Spotrac. Spotrac is where I go for most of my contract stuff. And I was looking at Wyatt Teller. I'm kind of hoping that happens, but at the same time, I don't want us to overpay for him. So that's what I had on my screen. See, it's slowing down. It's slowing down here. Whenever I use Spotrac, it slows down. Here's the Bears. Let's go multi-year. We are in multi-year. Down there by each position. Quarterback, man, that looks so pretty to have 7 million, 8 million, 10 million, 12 million. Oh, so beautiful. Have a cheap quarterback. Suck it, Packers. Suck it with your horrible quarterback signing that's going to bankrupt your franchise, and he'll be in the CFL in a couple of years. I did a video earlier on the quarterbacks, and actually I talk a lot of crap on Jordan Love, and he is inaccurate. I can't not untalk the crap on his accuracy. He's terrible. He's horrible accuracy. But his fourth quarter play is exceptionally better this year, which is not good for us because that means the Packers will be more competitive than I anticipated them being. One of the things I banked on was him being bad last year. But every quarterback can get better or worse. And when it comes to game on the line, he was very bad last year. He led the league with turnovers with the game on the line in the fourth quarter, up or down, by a touchdown or less. He led the league in turnovers. And this year he's got a +8 grade. Go look at that video from earlier today if you didn't see that one. We got Thursday Night Football coming up. Should I live stream Thursday Night Football? What do you guys think? I don't care about this game, but I watch it anyways. Should we live stream it? Sorry. So here's running backs. Here's wide receivers. Man, we got some good position here too. DJ Moore looking good. Value for him. Roma Dunze, Valus, Tyler Scott. Man, anybody have a solution for what's going on with Tyler Scott? I don't know why he's not even getting any reps because he looked pretty freaking good in the offseason. He did. Hitting the back corner of the end zone. I mean, we can pull up some of those old videos from training camp where he was hitting some of those in the end zone and connecting with Caleb. And now you're not even seeing him on the field. I realize we have Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and you got to have Gerald Everett out there, and you got to have Cole Kmet out there. But to not see him at all with his speed, it's kind of, I don't know. I want to see him in at least a play or two. You know what I mean? Like put him in a play or two and see what happens. But I don't have an answer for that one with Tyler Scott. So, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you're right, Reese Reed. On the comments there, he says, what Love is good at is finding the open guy so he doesn't have to be as accurate. And that's more of the play calling. That's more of the scheme and the system. That's why Malik Willis looks so freaking good when he's been terrible his whole career. That's why he looks so good with the Packers too. That's what a good coach will do. That's what you're starting to see with Shane Waldron too. I mean, this is a whole different thing we can go into here. But that's what you're starting to see with Shane Waldron too. And that's the big difference is Shane Waldron is right there with Matt LaFleur. He's showing signs of that. Now, I'm not going to crown him yet and say he's up to Matt LaFleur's level or Kevin O'Connell, or, I mean, that's what all these guys, but the difference there is the Packers have the second best line in the league right now. They can sit there and protect Jordan Love and let Matt LaFleur's schemes open up like crazy for 4 seconds before Jordan Love has to make a pass. He doesn't have to force something in, thread the needle. He doesn't have to do something unnatural. He can wait all day for it. And with us, our line is finally to average. Okay, we're 18th right now in the league in pass block efficiency. In years past, has been much worse. So we're finally getting there. This line is looking adequate. That's a decent word for it. It's adequate. We're looking adequate right now. So if we had the Packers offensive line, if we had the second best pass blocking efficiency and these guys could hold up for 5 seconds, Caleb would be 30 for 30 for 450 yards every single, because even if someone doesn't come open, he could thread the needle because he's sitting back there in a pocket that's absolutely ridiculous. And that's the big difference. So you've got one of the best play callers in the league with the Packers, and you've also got a line that's holding up like crazy. Larry Borum's coming back here real soon. Ryan Bates and Larry Borum. What do you guys think is going to happen there? I would love to see us trade Larry Borum if we can get trade value. If not, I want to see us cut him to save that money. There's no point for him on the roster, in my opinion. And that's just because I have bias against him because he had one of the worst years in the league last year. Ryan Bates, I don't want to see him at center. I want to see Coleman Shelton stay consistent. Obviously, he's there for an emergency, but maybe he can rotate in with Matt Pryor because Matt Pryor has been very average. He's not been elite. He's been average. Let's make this bigger so we can get to the point. The whole point of this was I was going to show you guys where we stand next year. We have very few contracts coming up. Maybe we want to re-sign, though, a Darrell Taylor. Maybe we want to re-sign him. He'll cost more than $3 million with the year he's having. He'll probably cost 4, 5, 6-ish million. Kevin Byard, my goodness, what a steal he was. Absolutely steal of, I mean, I wanted Xavier McKinney, and for good reason. Look at how he's doing in Packers land. But I would almost take, I mean, if you're talking interceptions, Xavier McKinney has the edge there. But Kevin Byard, his coverage and his hitting this year at 31 years old, he's hitting like Jack Sanborn. I mean, he's a freaking monster back there. He scares people. You see those drops? That's something that's not being talked about. You see those drops last week in the end zone by the Jaguars? Why do they drop the ball like that? Why are they dropping the balls more than they normally would in any other game? When you've got players back there that are hitting hard, they know the difference when they're facing the Bears and when they're facing, I can't say the Packers anymore because they finally have two good safeties. I'm pissed off that they got a good safety in the draft. He's really panning out. I'll do that in my safety video. You guys will see that. It's freaking annoying to me that the Packers find these good draft picks. I'm upset about it. But it's not like they're facing the Panthers, safeties back there, and they're not afraid to take a hit. When they've got the Bears safeties back there, when they've got the Bears secondary, they're afraid to get hit. And that's why they're dropping some of those balls. That's not talked about enough. But the Bears hit hard. They truly hit. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing for us, for the Bears. All right, let's get down here. Long list of people. And for those who didn't see, Jamari Cromont is signed back to the team. I didn't do a video on it. You guys know I love that big bear. Looks like an actual bear. He is re-signed to the practice squad. So he's back with the team. So I love it. All right, let's get down here. Come on. Get past all this stuff. Sorry, you're going to scroll. All right, here's our summary. This is where we stand right now. This is with injuries. We can cut people and make this better if we need to. But right now we're sitting on 6.297, so 6.3 million in salary cap space. But it's really bigger than that. If you take the injured cap out and you cut some of these guys, there's a lot more room we have than that. If we had to, if we were in a pickle, I don't have it right in front of me, but I'm telling you, it's right around 12, 13 million is what we're sitting at where we could comfortably do something with if we needed to. Now, you look at next year, and I told you the contracts. We don't have a lot of contracts to have to fill, but we've got 70.9. So basically $71 million in cap space at the anticipated $273 million cap. All right, so if that's the cap, then 70.9 million is where we sit going into next year, not needing to sign hardly anybody. If you sign Jack Sanborn to a TJ Edwards type of contract, which is what he should get, $6-7 million. Okay, there's $7 million of it. We could easily sign Keenan Allen if he comes around and keeps having a big year, $20 million. If not, we can sign another wide receiver, or we can go out and get a defensive end, or we can get a couple stud defense or offensive linemen. I mean, there's options with this cap space. You can sign Coleman Shelton to $3 or $4 million again. There's so much space because the difference between us and other teams, that 70.9 million, we don't have major needs to fill. We have hardly any needs to fill whatsoever. As you go through this and you look, Jalen Jones, okay, a backup cornerback, backup safety, Josh Blackwell, backup. These guys are all signed through 2025. All those guys there. You come up here, you go to our linebackers or our linemen. Darrell Taylor is a line. He's listed as an outside linebacker, but he's really a defensive end. So you can re-sign Darrell Taylor. It's still not going to break the bank. He's probably going to be 4, 5, 6, 7 million next year. You come up here, Chris Williams. Okay, he's a restricted free agent. We can match someone's offer at 2 or 3 million if he keeps having a big year the way he is. Jake Martin, we're not killing for him, so maybe we let him go. He's 29 years old. I don't know if we'd necessarily re-sign him. We signed him with the intention to use him, but then he's injured, so we end up getting, Darrell Taylor, and some of these guys are working out. You come up here, you go through, this is the entire defense. Okay, so Darrell Taylor, Amen, Jake Martin, and then you got Jack Sanborn, Jalen Jones. There's nothing pressing, though. You look at our main stars, Jervon Dexter's got through this year and 2 more years. Tyreek Stevens this year and 2 more years. Jonathan Owens through next year. Kyler Gordon through next year. But like someone said in the comments, yes, we do have some of these coming up after next year. So maybe some of this will roll over again. Got Big Bill after next year, Kevin Byard after next year, TJ Edwards after next year, DeMarcus Walker after next year, Kyler Gordon, Jonathan. There's a lot coming up after next year, but some of your main studs are still signed long-term. Montez Sweat, Tremaine Edmonds, Jalen Johnson. But the Bears are in a very good position. Really, really good position. Let's scroll up to the offense. Here's your offense. Keenan Allen is coming up, but then you've got Cole Kmet. Nate Davis will probably get cut. There's only $2 million dead cap on that. DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, Gerald Everett, Darnell Wright, Roma Dunze, Ryan Day. All those guys are signed. Then you've got Coleman Shelton, who shouldn't be much more than that 3.5, maybe 4, maybe 4.5. Larry Borum. Tevin Jenkins is the other big one. If we can sign him to a hometown contract, we're talking $10 to $12 million. I'm all in favor for that, even with the injury history. That's not too much. I mean, that's what we're talking about with Nate Davis. That's Nate Davis value, and Nate Davis has been in the same situation, but Tevin Jenkins is twice as good as Nate Davis. And you got Travis Homer, who I think we let walk. Mercedes Lewis is not coming back for us. I'd be shocked if we sign him one more time, even though he said he wants to play one more year. You got Roshan signed through, Tyler Scott, Kier Damagaji, Khalil Herbert. We might even trade him. So we're not in rough shape, though. I mean, there's nothing pressing here. So that 70 million can go a long way for this team. So we're in really, really good shape is what I'm trying to say by all that. All right, let me get back to the chat. Detroit sitting at 28. I'm going to pull that up. I didn't know that. Thank you, JC1. That's good news. Let's go look here. Let me move this off of here. Let's go look at that. Let's go look at NFC North, Detroit Lions. Are you talking about 28 million this year? Because they have a lot of cap space this year. Yeah, 20. You must be talking about this year. Yeah, they have tons of cap space. They can make a move, and I expect them to make a move for a defensive end. I totally do. Let's look at their cap space for next year, though. Oh, I didn't do the multi-year page. Multi-year. Come along, little doggy. Multi-year next year, they're sitting at 87. So they're in good cap space, too. They've got a lot of young players as well. Their secondary is really good shape with this. But we're in good shape as well. They might have more contracts coming due than we do, though. You look at their defensive line. Davenport. I think Onwuzurike has already got extended, but they're going to have to spend a lot on him. Let's see here. Go to offense. Tim Patrick's having a decent year. I don't know if they necessarily need to go out and extend him, though. Kevin Zeitler was a good pickup for them last year. He's one of the best guards in the league this year, guys. He's having a killer year. If we could snag him in free agency, pay him $20 million, I'd do it in a heartbeat. It's 34, so maybe not in a heartbeat. Maybe a discount because he's getting older. Anyways, Lee McNeil just got extended. I know that. Did I just see a Lee McNeil? Yeah, so they don't have his extension in here, so that's going to be taken out of it. That was a major contract, 20-something million a year. I don't know how much it was. 4-year, 97 million, and right here is what it's showing on the side. So 25 million-ish, 24.5 million a year for Lee McNeil. So that's a big one. But they needed to do it. I mean, he's worth that's like us. Yeah, there's a lot of rumors going around. I mean, I don't believe half of them. If we can trade Nate Davis, I'm all in favor of trading Nate Davis. As long as they'll eat the portion of his contract. It's getting late here. We're losing some lighting here. If they'll eat some of his contract and we don't have to use all that contract dead money that happens when you trade, I'm good with it. Boom. Yeah, you know me. What's up, Bears Country? I'm assuming that's Shorty. Thanks for tuning in, Shorty. Shorty. I'd be happy if we traded Nate Davis for a pick. I'd be really happy if we did that. I'd be really happy if we did. All right. This scheme seems to like wide receivers who can block, and Tyler Scott isn't good at it, and he wasn't good enough to punt or kick. Yeah, he's not good on special teams. So he's not a healthy scratch, though. He's making the 48. He's active during the games. So it just makes me curious why we don't throw him out there for a couple. I mean, you can design a couple plays where you get him and his speed out there, but I know there's other priorities. Coming up on Thursday Night Football, what do you think? Let's hear in the chat. You guys want me to live stream Thursday Night Football? You want to just chill and hang out for a little while, or you guys want to hear more about trades? And we've kind of gone over everything where I think we're hitting up the hour mark. Dead cap. I know. Let's go back and look at that, Keith. 100%. You're dead on with that. The dead cap for next. This is what Ryan Poles has been freaking good at, is clearing up those contracts. And even contracts he's signing now, there's very low dead cap in them. It's very favorable for the Bears. Let's go down here and just look at our dead cap. Dead cap. Look at that dead cap next year. Now, you're going to have a couple million there for Nate Davis, unless we trade him and somebody eats his contract and they agree to the terms of that. $107,000 of dead cap, that's nothing. I mean, that's unbelievable, especially with where we've been. $107,000 is, I mean, that's friggin' fantastic. So it won't stay there. It always happens, but yeah, he struggled last year, but that was kind of rookie jitters in my opinion. He did really well in the preseason. So yeah, I want a power back too. I would love us to draft one next year. And wouldn't it be cool if we did get Austin Gentry? That would be really fun, but I don't see that happening. I think he'll go in the top of the first round. Keep the winning streak going. What are we sitting at? 3 games? We're at 3 games right now on the winning streak. This team looks really, really good. I'm really excited about this team. Let's pull up. I haven't updated this, so forgive me. But this is where we said before the season. Let's kind of update where things are. Let me know if you guys want me to go into a live stream of Thursday Night Football and just hang out, or I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of interest in that. We'll end this thing where we were going to, and then I'll just go watch Thursday Night Football. Get my ribeye steak that I've been marinating. Planning on that for the night. We're waiting to see. We signed McQuaid. Everyone's excited because he's a 2-time Pro Bowler, but he's older. So we signed McQuaid as a practice squad option. But really, it sounds like Scott Daly is probably going to be back for next week. So it's just kind of, we don't have any injury reports right now this week. That's the down thing about a bye week. We don't have an injury report going on. 7 weeks. It'll be 7 weeks after the Packers game. 7 weeks after the Packers. So what we've been talking about, CJG, I don't think we're going to trade for someone. It's possible we could trade someone away, but I doubt that happens too. I think we're going to hold pat. With all this. So let's just look at this real quick, and then I'll end this, and then I'll go watch Thursday Night Football. This was the prediction when the schedule came out. This was my prediction of where things stood. All right, and it's been to a T so far. We beat the Titans, lost to the Texans, 50-50 game against the Colts because, and then my exact reasoning for this was I said it's still a young quarterback, young team who has to learn how to develop. It takes time. I think we're better than the Colts, but that's a 50-50 game. Lo and behold, ended up being that. Keith, I agree. If we can get the right draft pick, if we can get a 5th or a 6th rounder, I'm all in favor for it. With the Rams, same type of thing. I said, okay, it's still a young quarterback. If we can develop in time. I went to that game, had a freaking blast, had a great time at it. So much fun. And then the Panthers was a win. Jaguars 50-50 because it was on the road. And, man, look at how we're developing. Now some of these 50-50 games are turning into wins. I still hold firm on all of these. The Commanders win. Cardinals win. Patriots win. Packers 50-50. I'm leaning towards win, but that's a 50-50 game. It is at home, though, so I think we got that one. Then the Vikings, it's going to get tough, but this is where we stand starting the season. That was last week, so I haven't updated this yet, but this is where we stand through those 6 games, and I really feel good about where the team is. I do, especially the offense. We haven't had a multifaceted team, offense and defense, for a long time. I've never seen the offense feel like this, really. I mean, you felt inklings of it when Mitch Trubisky was starting to feel, but it didn't feel the same way. This feels really good. Yeah, it's all tough, but I think we're up for it. I think we're up for it. I think we're up for this. I had us beating the Rams, Titans, Colts, and Panthers. Yeah, I think I was probably just being a little more realistic about the Colts with us being young and fresh, and that kind of showed its head. If we would have had one more quarter in that game, I think we would have won that game. I really do. I think we would have won that one. So, all right. So that's what I got for the trade rumors. I don't think we trade. I just don't. There's too much value here. This is what we've had in all of our first and second rounders, and that's what it's going to take to give up. Now, if we can get one of those guys, I see the reasoning why, but I'm not going to sit here and make a hypothetical video that the Bears are all in on going after Myles Garrett because the Browns are in sell-off mode and they're struggling and they want to give him away. If we can give up a 3rd rounder and get Myles Garrett, I would do that in a heartbeat. Your 3rd rounders are your hypothetical guys who might not work. Myles Garrett is worth it. When you go look at this again, we'll look at this one more time. Pass rush grades. You go look at all these guys right there at the top is going to be Myles Garrett, number 7 in the league, at 27.5% pass rush. That's an immediate impact guy on the team. 26 pressures, 18 total hurries, 4 sacks, 4 hits. If you can get Myles Garrett for that, I just don't think you can. And I don't think Poles is in the mode and mentality of selling off the future on a team that's so young and so gelling together. You see those people we were talking about in a couple years coming up. We can't re-sign all of them. And if you've got these high-value picks and you're giving them all away, you can't replenish them either with high-value guys. You've got to be strategic about it as a GM. So
If we can get Trey Hendrickson, we can get Myles Garrett for a third rounder, I'm all for it. I'm all in. But I don't think that's realistic. I don't think we can get either one of those guys for a third rounder. Take a second plus some more. So my final analysis, yeah, I'm okay with us trading off a couple guys as long as we have contingencies. I don't think we'd trade away Khalil Herbert because if Roschon Johnson goes down, who do you have as the third down back, as a goal line back? You don't have anyone. If you trade away Nate Davis, you don't have the depth you need. Maybe Ryan Bates, maybe Bill Murray, but you don't want to give away your offensive linemen midseason. You need them. So exactly, CJG. Ryan Pace made those same mistakes. So, Dennis, we used your comments in the beginning quite a bit. There's the laugh emoji. Lots of rumors right now. Lots of rumors. We pulled that up earlier. We pulled up this. Chicago Bears trade. Man, you go on here and you're going to see 15,000 different trades. They're going to tell us that the Max Crosby's coming to us. They're going to tell us that Nate Davis is gone. They're going to tell us this is a while ago. They're going to tell us that the more I think about the structure of the Chicago Bears roster, the more I wouldn't trade their 2025 first, Carolina second, Bears second for a player in the trade deadline. This is exactly what I'm saying. I don't always agree with this Nick Whalen guy, but the highest pick I would part with is a 2025 third round pick. That's exactly what I've been saying on this episode, this live stream. This is exactly what I've been saying. I feel the exact same way. We're going to hit the like button there. I feel the exact same way about that one. This is old news. That's all old news. Saying we could trade Khalil Herbert. I mean, the rumors are out there nonstop. Hassan Reddick. That's old. So, anyways, you're going to hear tons of rumor stuff, especially on down week. On down week when the Bears are on a bye, you're going to hear people making rumors and making all sorts of stuff up. I wouldn't listen to half of it. I'm not in on that. FGB. Go Steelers this week. Wonder if Rodgers throws his boy Adams under the bus after his next game losing interception. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Longhorn Jeff. Our third rounder, I mean, I really do see us going into at least a first round win. I'm really high on this team. So I think we win it. We're going to be talking mid-20s, late 20s. And if you can, once you get in the playoffs, you can pull off all sorts of miracles. You can pull off all sorts of stuff. So you would say we win the Super Bowl. That's basically a fourth round pick. So, yep. So, all right. That's how I feel about it. I really feel good about this team. I don't think we're going to make any moves, but that's my insights on it. I'm going to keep rolling out these videos. I've got the quarterback one I did earlier. Check that one out if you didn't see it. I got the wide receiver one coming out right. It's already done. It's scheduled. I've got it coming out right after Thursday. Maybe it's in the middle of Thursday Night Football. I scheduled it for the middle of Thursday Night Football. And then I've got defensive end, defensive tackle, and tight end tomorrow, I believe. I'm working on them all right now. So check those out. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate all you guys. Yeah, I agree. He would. And most of these guys would require a first-round pick. These are big-time names. So Dennis Moody, DDMS, 62571, Reese Reed, Kevin Kepernall, Steve Keith, Longhorn Jeff, Dave S., CJG, Tony May, Demondice, Keith Hall, JC1, Bears Country Podcast, Michael M., Tony A., Philip Palmisano, Richard Lewis, all you guys, man, too many to go through today. Good chat. Good for you guys. DVD, Doug Van Dorn. Appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to end it now. Haven't gone live for a while. Went well. Appreciate you guys being here. I just wanted to go over some of that stuff. We'll do some more stuff as we get into the bye week. I'm going to do some salary cap stuff and any changes that do happen. If we do make any moves, I'll let you guys know. But I think we're good for now. Enjoy Thursday Night Football. I'm going to go enjoy it. Going to have myself a ribeye. And with that, bear down and da Bears.